I was at home and I get this call from Ring.
We just received a fire alarm. All okay?
My fire alarm in our cottage was going off. And then it hit me. My parents are at the cottage. The fire had started in the chimney and spread to the roof. Ring Alarm Professional Monitoring dispatched the fire department before we even could dial 911. My name is Kevin, and Ring Alarm helped save our family cottage.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/Odyssey. That's ring.com/Odyssey.
Odyssey now has hundreds of new exclusive music stations for you to discover your new summer soundtrack.
Get moving with worthy workouts for a cardio sesh fueled by today's top artists.
Hanging with your crew? Throw it back with Picnic Party for old school jams for your cookout.
Or sail away with Odyssey's new yacht rock station, Jugger Yacht.
For summer barbecues, road trips,
or relaxing poolside.
Hundreds of new exclusive stations, plus all your favorite local radio stations and podcasts. It's all on Odyssey.
Brought to you by Macy's, Geico, and Coke Zero Sugar.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Good, bad, or embarrassing. Who deserved a round of applause? 206-421-ROCK. Victor, who also likes the Men's Room on Facebook, he says, I work at Snoqualmie Casino, and I applauded the janitor for dropping an entire mini dumpster into a bigger dumpster on accident. Good, bad, or embarrassing. Who deserved a round of applause? 206-421-ROCK.
This comment from Annette and Birion. I appreciate this. It says, my first time stripping. I fell off the stage at Deja Vu in need of the sympathy clap.
Oh, no.
Damn, that's Hello, Devin. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
How's it going, boys?
Doing great.
Probably 6 years ago, me and some buddies were out boating on Lake Tapps, and me and one of my friends have been talking to us about, who could toss who off an inner tube. And so finally it's my turn to get out there, and we're going along. My buddy's whipping me around, and my trunks decide to fly off.
Okay.
And so I'm flagging down the boat, and my buddy finally stops. And I'm like, guys, I'm butt-ass naked, and they can't hear me. I'm butt-ass naked. And I just see my buddy grin before he turns back and drops the hammer on the throttle and just starts slinging me across the lake. And the pridefulness in me, I'm not letting go, but I'm bouncing off the water at this point, my bleach white ass shining in the sun. And finally, after about 10 minutes, my arms are dead. I was like, all right. But then I still have to get back into the boat. There's, boats all around. I got to sneak back into my towel.
I was going to say, your swimming trunks are at the bottom of the lake at this point, right?
Oh, they're long gone, yeah.
Okay.
And so the kicker is we have to eventually go back to his grandparents' house where we were hanging out, and I had to explain to his grandparents why I needed a new pair of shorts.
Are you covering your junk as you talk to him, or are you just kind of sitting in the boat yelling to the shore?
I've got a towel at this point at least, but I had to get back to the boat with a bunch of girls I didn't know, and so it was a bunch of.
Tell me, Lake Tapps is not a deep lake that warms easily in the summer.
It wasn't too bad, but definitely not helpful.
Yeah, okay.
You do realize that once you lose your trunks, if your buddy is in control of the boat, he's almost the last person that you want to know that. Because I'm telling you, if it were me and you told me that, like, oh, I'm doing the same thing, man. We're dropping the hammer and we're dragging your naked ass around as long as we can.
Jumping off cliffs and rope slides, you'll get a lot of applause there, a lot of oohs and a lot of ahs, depending on what you pull off.
It depends. I feel more compelled to clap for the people that. So someone, I don't know, you're jumping off, say, a 20-foot cliff. And some of your buddies, they do it well. They go feet first and all this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't get applause. But the buddy who tried to do a flip or something and you realize they didn't recover, and you know it hurts. I know they're in pain, but they basically belly flop in there. They get the applause. As an adult, most of the applause you're going to get is when you F up.
It's a bad thing.
Right? Guaranteed.
It is, but there's a certain height where everybody in the water's pumped.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, right. If it's that high.
We used to jump off bridges, man, and that was it. Like, go, cars coming.
I mean, look, Ted, you served as a bartender for a while, worked in restaurants. As a guarantee, it's almost like it's a law. if somebody drops that entire plate of glasses or entire tray of glasses or plate, the entire restaurant breaks into applause.
Right. And then
everybody.
It's like I was saying yesterday. There's always somebody like my dad. Well, just put that anywhere.
Jesus.
Oddly, that's the person you want to slap.
Right. And every time.
It says that every time.
Every time.
Just put that anywhere?
Yes. I mean, it's as long as I was a kid, like till he might not do it today, only because I would shoot him just that look that says, "Old man, I'll still beat you up."
Did you? Does he do the? Does he clean his plate and say, like I was terrible?
Oh my God, everything you could think of. Must be in the front row.
Right.
It's like it's lunch, Dad. Right. It's 1 p.m. This isn't great parking. There's nobody else here.
Right.
Good, bad, or embarrassing? Who deserved a round of applause? 206-421-ROCK.
Mike, what are you gonna say?
I used to work as a dishwasher. And the one that I always got whenever I broke something, the owner would look at me. Pardon me. The owner would look at me and say, "If you see China on your paycheck, it's not a vacation."
Oh God! Damn! Did he actually charge you?
No.
Ah, okay.
I will say, in my dad's defense, there is times where I have to fight the urge too.
To do the same thing.
Well, or like for me, the worst one is like, I obviously hated it. Like
Right.
she doesn't need to hear that.
No.
You ate it all, fatty. Like she gets it.
And she heard it 9
you like
times
the
today.
wing.
You loved it. Good, bad, or embarrassing? Who deserved a round of applause? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jeb. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
How y'all doing?
Doing great, man. Thanks, Jeb.
So what deserved a round of applause? So Miles, did you play Legion ball when you were in high school?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so we had a Legion game one night, and I was super sick. I was like really about to play. So it got down to be the 7th inning tied game. Everybody on the edge of their seats, and I was up to bat, and I hit a nuke. Like I blasted it. Everybody thought it was that. I was walking down the first baseline. Might have said a few words to the pitcher on my way, and ended up hitting off the top of the wall. So I'm rounding first out of walk, and I end up having to run. So whenever I start running, I don't make it a second on time, and I get hosed by the center fielder.
You're kidding me. He gunned you from center field on a ball off the top of a wall?
Well, our field is it's 300 foot, but the fence is tall as hell. So
I see what you're saying. So
right.
there's a monster.
Oh, yeah,
there's a monster in center, and then right and left sprawl out a little bit.
Yeah, and dude, I pimped it too, man. Yeah, but that's not the worst part about it. The crowd went crazy whenever I hit it, and then so I told you I was sick. So whenever I slid, I was like, oh crap, I hope that's a fart. So so I had to kind of do my Yosemite Sam walk back into the dugout.
Oh
Put
no!
my head down. I didn't even stop at the dugout. I went straight to the bathroom.
Yeah, I bet.
You pooped yourself, man.
Yeah, I pooped myself.
Good times, Jeb.
I would applaud for you in a heartbeat.
Jeb, I'm so goddamn old that when I played American Legion ball, we had this tournament in Cincinnati, and it was like a road trip. We're out of town, and we're talking about all the teams you had to play, and we were post 2, but there's Ohio teams and there's Kentucky teams, and basically, it's a round robin tournament. There are probably 12 teams there, whatever the deal is, and we're playing this team from Cincinnati. That's our first round game. Well, Ken Griffey Sr. is in the stands because his son is playing.
Okay.
All right? We're playing against Ken Griffey, but no one cares because no one knows who the hell Ken Griffey is because they don't care. They know who Ken Griffey Sr. is because he was on the Reds team with George Foster and Johnny Bench and Pete Rose and all these guys, Tom Seaver. So we knew him, George Foster. We knew him from then. And I don't remember a lot about that game because, again, I'm not sure if we won, we lost. We went on to play another game later on that afternoon.
He lost.
Another game in the morning, another game in the afternoon. It just wasn't – it was all about Ken Griffey Sr.
Right.
It had nothing to do with – because he was there the whole weekend.
Oh, of course.
So it's just like, this is so cool. We all got
Did you play
autographs.
against his brother?
Played
Or
against-
son?
Yeah.
Son.
Yeah.
Really?
But,
So you've played against Ken Griffey Jr., but at the time you did it, it meant nothing.
No idea. I mean, because we played against 6 other teams.
Sure.
So, hell, I could have played against somebody else.
Is there a massive Legion tournament every year in West Virginia? Beast of the East or something like that?
Well, this was in Cincinnati.
All right.
So that I don't know if they do that.
Maybe
anymore.
it's the same area. I just know I have been there to watch baseball.
Baseball's pretty big in that area.
Yeah, for sure.
What good or bad, embarrassing, who deserved a round of applause? 206-421-ROCK.
Real quick, we got a little off track. Snakes came up, and we just weren't sure what the rough natural lifespan is of a snake. You know? We did bigger ones. So they reminded me, it says, hey, man, how long do the devil's noodles live? Which would be snakes. The devil's noodles, so we got a little summary here. I estimated that the average lifespan, say 7 years. I'm completely wrong. Miles, you said about 50 years. You're wrong as well. Ted, you pretty much nailed it with 25 years. I guess the average lifespan for the bigger snakes is anywhere between 20 and 30 years.
All right.
So you said 25. There you go.
But it gets to the point where they're so big, they're not really, you can't, I mean, what do you do with them? That's what I
The
mean.
zoo.
Like, I know,
I mean,
there's so many people who have pet snakes, and there's only one major zoo in a major city.
Sure.
So where in the hell do you do, what do you do with these things?
I mean, that's why they have python hunts in
Right.
in the Everglades.
Well,
You know exactly
because people
what
have
they
been
do.
dumping them for years. But if you
Yes.
don't have a place to dump a python,
You still dump it. Look, you can say the Florida Everglades are great.
you don't
You're
dump
like,
an
right.
anaconda on Tiger Mountain.
Well, people don't have
I
anacondas.
bet you they do. I bet you they dump like cornfields. Look, think about that.
No way. You're not letting an anaconda out in a cornfield.
Sure you would. Look, the Amish, right, in Pennsylvania, they are massive exotic animal traders because no one really pays attention to them, so they kind of skate past the law.
They do their own thing.
Right? So if you don't have a buyer for these 8 other snakes you've got, all you got are cornfields around it, right? Telling me that if you went to some of these cornfields, like I swear to God, I saw an anaconda or whatever the hell it is, python, you name. I'm telling you, man, they dump everything. Remember the guy in Ohio?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
But
get a call.
they
I'm
got-
a cop in Ohio, and you're telling me there's a tiger in a cornfield.
Do you realize that the long and short of that story is all those tigers and lions got out?
Yeah.
There are 2 still that have not been accounted for.
Mm-hmm. And guess where they're at?
If you
in a
watch that
cornfield.
documentary,
They're at Paul Brown Stadium.
with Tim, what was his name? That came out.
Oh, I can't remember.
Good, bad, or embarrassing? Who deserved a round of applause? 206-421-ROCK.
Of course, we have 2 Nicks.
The elephant in the living room. Right?
You're close.
Oh, right, the name of the documentary.
Well, something like
that.
yeah, something like that.
If you get the chance, check it out. It's terrifying, but you'll like
We
it.
have no idea who made it
I know the
or
guy's,
what it's called.
I know the guy's got relatives in Tacoma here.
Hello, Nick. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Oh, man. Thank you guys for taking my call. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thanks, man.
Appreciate you calling, man.
Sweet. My story, pretty quick. I was probably in kindergarten somewhere in Oregon. We were at a river, and a giant bird, I don't know, a hawk or eagle, came down and picked up a pretty large salmon, but it was too large for the bird to carry off, but they kind of messed it up with its claws. Drops the fish. Anyway, my mom just takes off running. I don't know how she can see the fish. And she sprints across the river and picks it up with both hands and had caught it with her bare hands. It was insane.
Wait, she caught the fish before it hit the water?
No. It was squirming in the water.
Ah, okay. Why, wait,
yeah,
why
that would've
did
been
she?
crazy.
Why did she want that salmon?
To eat it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just instinct at that point. We love fish.
Is your mom a grizzly bear? I just can't imagine. Like, ooh, cool, man. The eagle dropped a fish. That's the one I want to eat.
Yeah.
Did she get
There
applause?
was, no applause, but there was a native family nearby, and they really wanted her to teach the kids how to do that. We ended up giving them the fish.
You ended up giving your fish away.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. All right.
What is it with eagles that grab things that are too big?
They know
It
they can
seems
do
like
it. Did you see the
Yeah, but they always drop. I feel like I've never been to like an all-you-can-eat buffet, and I put 75 pounds of food on my plate, and they dropped it. Like, that's too much.
Was it a Seahawk or an eagle that picked up a shark that they had a video of the other day? It was all over Twitter.
It was a big bird. I don't know which one.
Yeah,
you're,
but it picked up
Thrill,
a
you're right. You fill up your plate, but you don't just drop it.
I mean, it
It's
just
too
seems
much.
like I'm an eagle, and like, right, they have, it's not Shark Week, whatever it is on
I think they
National
go for it.
Geographic. But again, the shark, they're not trying to eat things that they can't eat. You know, they might not like it and spit you out, surfers, but otherwise, it's kind of like you don't see the shark like, I tried to eat an entire blue whale. I just couldn't do it. Like, what is it with eagles in particular, it seems like? Why do you?
I'm going to start doing that.
What, just grab
I'm going
food
to order a big-ass steak. Like 2/3 of the way through, be like, oh, it's too much.
and drop it on the floor and see if
Well,
anyone
if you
else
finish a food challenge, I've seen that before. I've been
Sure.
in a couple places where you watch somebody eat like a bunch of wings or whatever, and everybody goes.
Man, I would never voluntarily go into a food challenge. I would not win. But years ago, I am dead broke, which is important to the story. But I'm going to Chicago, and we stop at, what's the name? I can't remember the name of this place now. It's no longer around. But anyway, one of these huge-ass like chain restaurants, multiple floors. We go in, I look at the menu, and they have a Dagwood. Right? And I mean, it's a monster sandwich.
Dagwood is from the Blondie cartoon strip, and basically he would make a sandwich with everything that he could find in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
So if there's like 10 types of meat, there's like 9 types of
That's
cheese.
basically, meatloaf was so it's a sandwich. Meatloaf was the base, and then they just piled all this other stuff on. Again, I have no money. I don't think they understood what true hunger is, but I'm like, because of this trip, I have enough money. I can get the sandwich and this thing. I know I will be full for the day. And that's kind of how I ate then. Like, you get one meal a day, dude, figure it out. So I get this big-ass Dagwood sandwich. I did not know that it was supposed to be a challenge, okay? So I order it, and it's one of those restaurants where the waiters have these headsets on, microphone thing. And so when I order it, and keep in mind, this is just me being me. I'm curmudgeon, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll take a beer, and I'm going to get the Dagwood. And, I mean, in a billionth of a second, bam! Suddenly his mic is activated and it goes around the restaurant. And he's like, this man right here has accepted the Dagwood challenge. And in my mind, I'm like, I didn't accept a goddamn thing.
Dagwood challenge.
It's on. I just want to eat my sandwich. I don't want a challenge. But the long and short of it was, if you can eat this entire, and he's broadcasting this, which is what I hated. There's nothing worse than being stared at while you eat. But once someone makes an announcement, everyone stares at you while you eat. So you can't just enjoy your freaking meal. But so I don't know it's a challenge. He makes the announcement. He says he can finish it in less than 10 minutes. If you finish it in 10 minutes or less, you get a free dessert. Again, I'm like, you don't understand what being broke is, brother. I crushed that thing in like 7 minutes. It was not a dude. On the house, got a cheesesteak or a cheesecake for dessert, which he could not believe. And I'm like, I'm broke, dog. You're just giving me free food? Hell yeah.
Good, bad, or embarrassing. Who deserved a round of applause? 206-421-ROCK.
So I just left the house to go pick up my kids, and 10 minutes later, I got an emotion alert from Ring. My alarm was going off. I open up my app, and there's this guy running out the front door. I didn't know who he was. Before I could do anything, I got a call from Ring.
This is Jordan with Ring Alarm Monitoring. I'll send the police right over.
My name's Nadine, and Ring helped save my house from a break-in.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/safety. That's ring.com/safety.
Angie's List is now Angie. Whether you need help with routine maintenance or you're planning your dream renovation, Angie connects you with top local pros who can get the job done right. See reviews, compare quotes, and book hundreds of projects. Plus, when you book and pay through Angie, we'll cover your project up to the full purchase price, plus limited damage protection with our Happiness Guarantee. Check out Angie.com, and for more on the Happiness Guarantee, go to Angie.com/happiness-guarantee.htm.
The men's room is in progress. 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle.
Good, bad, or embarrassing. Who deserved a round of applause? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Nick. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so I got one for you that I'm still dealing with right now. My feet are on fire because I'm apparently allergic to a lot of different types of peppers. I didn't know that until I cleaned up some peppers for our pets last night, and I asked my wife why my hands are on fire. She says, oh, I made things with peppers, of course. And then I'm like, why is my crotch on fire? Why is my eye on fire? Oh, because I just turned myself into a heat map for everywhere that I touch constantly. And I am dying. Apparently 90 degrees wasn't enough for me. I needed to add to that.
So is this peppers allergy new?
Yeah, to me. I always knew I didn't like peppers, but I guess my body doesn't like them anywhere.
What was she cutting the peppers up for?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What were you cutting the peppers for?
We have birds. 5 birds. And apparently birds aren't affected by peppers. They actually like them. So they eat them as a treat or a snack.
Huh.
I've never heard of that.
Me neither.
Wait a minute. Are these pet birds, or is your wife one of these people that's like, ooh, wildlife in the yard, let me feed them?
She's both. The problem with that is she'll take the leftover food from the pet birds and put them in the worst places in the yard. And you don't get birds, you get raccoons. She's turned our backyard into a little wildlife habitat for all the creatures in the neighborhood.
And how often do you two have the argument about that?
Every time I try to cut the lawn, and it turns into a Seattle protest of why I can't go harm the creatures in the yard.
Yep. It's kind of a weird situation with raccoons. They buck the trend of when we lived on the East Coast. To be fair, The East Coast is not nearly as healthy as the West Coast for a lot of different reasons.
That is an understatement.
Food has a lot to do with it as far as your regular diet, the ability to go out and exercise. Right now in Washington, D.C., I want to say it's 101 degrees. You're not going inside of a gym, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Either way, one thing I do know about growing up in West Virginia and when I moved to the Baltimore area, because I had raccoons in my yard, they were really skinny raccoons. They were very agile. They could run pretty fast. They could get up a tree in a second. Now, you move to the West Coast, where in general, the human population eats better, is skinnier, is healthier. But the raccoons here, man,
huge.
They are the biggest things. They can barely waddle down the street in my neighborhood. I don't even know where they're getting this food. There's no restaurants open, really.
I don't remember seeing a raccoon until I moved to the West Coast.
And they are big.
I'd seen a few, but like to Miles' point, man, when I lived in upstate New York, we lived out in the woods. So you saw everything all the time. But they were just thinner. Like
they're hunters at this point. They're not gatherers. They're not going to dumpster dive.
You know what? That might have a lot to do with it. So, a different story. What's going on in a certain city in Thailand right now, maybe you've heard, but the monkeys have taken over this one city. And you've probably seen the city before, either in a documentary, postcard, you name it. So the main bit of tourism for this town is that the monkeys kind of interact with
When
people.
you're down on the street, you can go to a restaurant, the monkeys are just there.
They're just there, and people feed them. And believe it or not, that is the big tourism thing, to the point that when you get there, one of the things you'll overspend money on, like the souvenir you would buy, is food, right? Because you can feed the monkeys, and the monkeys are pretty chill. Well, things have been closed down because of the COVID-19 and all this kind of thing. So tourism is basically disintegrated, but the monkeys' population has exploded, okay? So the thing about these monkeys, they've now taken over to the town to the point where they're like, look, even if we reopen, you can't get this town back. And understand they can't cull the monkeys, as they say, because there is a religious bend to them based on the Buddhist population. So these monkeys are kind of sacred, nothing you can do. They're a nuisance, but they're a sacred nuisance, all right? So kind of like your own children, a sacred nuisance. So you can't do anything, but now the monkeys are getting more aggressive because no one's feeding them, so they're raiding shops, blah, 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 blah. The point was this. They did a study, and like you're saying with the raccoons, they realized like their counterparts that live out in the wild, their counterparts they're more muscular, they live longer, they don't bald like the ones in the city, and they realized because everyone's been feeding these monkeys junk.
KFC.
Like, they're right, KFC and occasional fruit, which is decent, but mostly junk food, potato chips, you name it. Like,
they're going bald, and they're getting beer guts.
Right, they're getting fat and going bald. I'm like, damn. I mean, just damn, man.
Well, I mean, it's a monkey. I mean, we're pretty close. Good, bad, or embarrassing? Who deserved a round of applause? 206-421-ROCK.
I was going to say, the East Coast has really fat rats, though.
Boy, that's the biggest goddamn
Yeah,
rats
we
I've
got
seen
really
in my
skinny
life.
rats around here. And I'm telling you what, man, all this construction has brought them to life. I mean,
See, rats here don't bug me. Rats here, they're just
no,
big
because they're
mice.
small.
Yeah.
It's not really a big deal. You're like, oh, look at the little cute rat. There's
It's
no such thing in Baltimore.
a different rat game, bro. Hello, Spencer. Welcome to the men's room. Hola!
What's up, boys? How we doing?
How you doing, Spencer?
I'm good, guys. I'm actually the bartender down the lodge downtown.
Oh, right on.
Spencer, how are you,
What's
buddy?
up, Spencer?
Are you? Have you picked up any shifts there, man? We've been in and out a few times in the last few weeks.
Not yet. Just with how the situation of traffic down there, like they're not necessarily staffing the same way that they used to. So,
Do you have a coupon you can give us for a free dozen dry rub chicken wings, maybe?
Dry rubs all sauce on the side. I'll see what I can do for you.
All right, thanks, brother. That's all.
Spencer is how I learned that trick.
What's that?
You get like the soy ones, and then you get the dry rub sauce on the side.
Ooh. I remember Ted came in and said, hey, man, there's this dude that works at the lodge, and he just told us how we should get our chicken wings. He was right. I want to say 2 days later we met you. So
Yeah. And you were like, you're the dude with the wings.
Cool. Let's do it again. Wing date.
Yeah. Ted, by the way, I got a new phone. Lots of numbers. Text me if you can. But
yeah.
Otherwise, my story is pretty interesting. You guys ever heard of Duck Dodge down in South Lake Union?
Duck Dodge.
Tuesday. I want to say
race,
sailboats Tuesday evenings.
Oh,
Lake Union, the Duck Dodge.
The little tiny sailboats.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like a full race or anything, but like a couple years ago, my roommate's got a sailboat. We're down there, we're cruising through, and like at the end of the little race thing, every boat ties up, and you just kind of boat hop. It's a lot of fun. Like everyone's partying or whatever, like it's going good, and like all of a sudden, it's like out in the distance, there's this like what appears to be a like pallet with like a thing of wood or something on top of it with like oil drums underneath it. And this dude has a portable blow-up hot tub on top of it and like a small like electric motor. He's got 3 naked chicks in the tub.
They rent those out down there, Spencer. That's actually a service. I mean, not the 3 naked chicks.
Yeah, I don't know if they come with it.
You can rent the hot tub and go out on South Lake Union for your birthday, whatever parties.
This gentleman decided to make one himself.
Okay. Good for him.
Once again, bedroom callers, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
Come on, man. We don't cuss in your bar.
For sure, yeah. You're sinners and saints.
Sure.
My bad. But this guy's got this SUV grin on his face, right? And obviously for good reason. And my buddy from LA is visiting, and he's got he's 6'2", pretty Venice boy, and he's got long dyed hot pink hair, and he just dives right in immediately, swims over to this guy's boat or raft thing, climbs on top, gets in the tub, and starts shaking around with him. And the dude is kind of looking up what is going on right now, man? He starts dancing with one of the chicks. All of a sudden, one of the girls falls off, and the inflatable hot tub just basically bails into the water. So the entire thing capsizes.
Oh no!
And clearly, this dude is upset. So all of a sudden, my buddy just starts immediately swimming back to our boat. And as he pops up for air, everyone just in the entire 16, 17 boat string up just kind of stops, and I just go slow clap. The entire all the boats just go woo! They just start cheering when this guy gets back to our boat, and then he's just kind of well, I don't know really know what to do about that. So these girls are now topless in the water, trying to figure out what boat they're going to get on. They swim over to ours, get on that, and then just run basically back to him trying to get his raft resituated once he ties up with us. And he goes, "You know what, man? I'm not even mad. That was ballsy." We kind of shared a high five, and we got his raft reafloat, and they took off. But yeah.
Spencer, if you get a chance, man, on one of these hot days, go down to South Lake Union, at the very south end of it, right to the west of the Wooden Boat Museum, where they have that little beach area that kind of comes down across the street from our table, whatever that is. Yesterday, wear a mask, just walk around down there. I am telling you, it is unbelievable what's going on. Matter of fact, I walked into work today thinking I'm going to walk by there on my way home. You have no idea what's going on down there.
That's what motivated you to walk to work?
Pretty much.
Where at?
Right at South Lake Union, right at the bottom of the South Lake Union. You know where Jillian's used to be, but just kind of corner across the street. There's that little landing right there by the float planes. There's a beach. And I'm telling you what, man, last night, it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe where I was.
It's always a good spot, man.
Yeah, exactly. Good, bad, or embarrassing? Who deserved a round of applause? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Tom. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hola.
Hola. So, this last New Year's, took my kids with my family out to one of those indoor water parks over in North Idaho.
Is it kind of like the Great Wolf Lodge?
It is. It's exactly like that, but they don't call it that.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Oh, so those are real cheap,
Yeah.
They call it the tiny coyote place.
Right.
Yeah.
The coyote hut.
Right. Great Wolf? No, I was over with Coyote.
Anyway, they have that little surfing ride off to the side. You could get on a board and pretend that you know what you're doing. And anyway,
those things, man, those things make people roll for days, don't they? If you get caught up in them.
Oh, it's brutal. Because I'm a snowboarder, so I think, after a couple rum and cokes, I'm okay. I can probably handle this. And sure enough, I let go of the rope. Guy says, "Yeah, you got it." And I going for about 10 seconds, and I just face plant hard. They call it the scorpion, when you kick yourself in the back of the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely left some teeth marks somewhere on that thing.
Ooh.
But, yeah, the bad part was that kind of pulled my shorts down a little bit trying to get out of there.
Oh, yeah, that's basically what they're known for. When they get you, it's basically if you were to be in a river and be in a current underneath a rock or something, you're in a washing machine.
Right.
So you're just going to get spun the entire time. It takes off all your clothes. It's
a good thing to do it where kids are.
Oh, man, it was so embarrassing. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, but
my brother was there. laughing and yelling. He took pictures. It was
Yeah, but you know what, man? Your kids enjoy watching your parents fail. I mean, that's.
Oh, absolutely.
But these things, man, I'm telling you what, I would definitely get on one of these things, but I know for a fact that they warn you, like, look, man, you got to really tie your stuff together because you're going to lose all your pants, you're going to lose everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all right with that. Well, you know, it happens.
But there's a crowd of people waiting around to go next.
No, I know that, but it's understood that this might happen. I would not just walk up there naked, but like, look, if that's the risk, then that's the risk we're going to take.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. You never see videos. It's either like a super awesome guy or just normal dudes losing their shorts.
Oh, absolutely.
Good, bad, or embarrassing. Who deserved a round of applause? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Scott. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I was in Louisiana with the Coast Guard, and tried to do a food eating challenge, and it was a burger, fries, and shake challenge. The burger was probably about the size of a dinner plate, probably about 4 inches thick.
So it was one.
And
it was one patty, but it was just it was just a huge bun.
It was just a huge. No, the patty itself was the size of a dinner plate, and
Damn.
4 inches thick.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was huge. And I got about halfway through the patty, or halfway through the burger, not even touching the big basket of fries or the shake, and I started losing feeling to my fingers.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and call it quits now. And started to do the walk of shame. Now, keep in mind, half my unit is there watching me do this food eating challenge. There's like 20 people watching me. And I do the walk of shame back to the register, and I was holding a shake. Didn't have any filling in my hand in the styrofoam, and I crushed the shake inside my hat. So now I have the smell of strawberry shake in my hat, and I never could get it out, so I just ended up throwing it away.
But you didn't. I guess you didn't win the challenge, did you?
No. I ended up having to pay like $40 for the burger and everything.
Okay. Why do you think you started losing feeling in your fingers?
It was just that big of a patty. I don't know. I can put away some food. So I usually have no problem with that, but
I've never heard that.
Why.
I've never heard like, man, I've eaten so much food that I'm losing feeling in my digits.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like you lost all circulation.
Yeah. Are you still in the Coast Guard?
No, I got out a long time ago.
Do they have a jet ski team?
Not that I'm aware of.
You think they would? You know what I mean?
Did you go to the academy or did you just join?
I went to boot camp and then went to mechanic school and then was stationed up here in Seattle for a long time.
Okay.
Are you surprised by how many people that sometimes don't know that the Coast Guard is part of the military?
Yes.
I mean, isn't that a weird phenomenon? I mean, aren't you just like, hey, what the?
But no one knows. I mean,
yeah, but honest to God.
And most people don't even realize that there's multiple jobs in the Coast Guard, so they keep asking me, "Oh, are you in the Guardian? Are you a rescue swimmer?" No, I'm a mechanic.
But you got to understand, man, when you see any commercial for the Coast Guard or any, and I'm sure you're very aware of this, or anytime they're on the news, it's always a badass scene because there's a helicopter. Right. There are horrible waves.
It's the Bering Sea.
There's a lunatic who's on a rope who's going to go down to rescue. Like, the only time we see the coast, like, in our mind, you were called to action when the worst possible thing has happened.
What is up with those guys who jump out of the helicopters? Are they nuts?
I'm sure they are.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, they got to be the badasses of the badasses.
You've
Like,
got to be nuts.
I mean, even a Navy SEAL who's jumping into water, you know what I mean? Typically, I mean, I'm sure they jump into bad currents and things like that to train, but
sure,
to dive bomb into the Bering Sea, you know what I mean? In a storm with a helicopter, in the same commercial scenario you're talking about.
That's what I mean. It's like it's exactly what you imagine.
I mean, like
that's what we know the Coast Guard to be.
I would go into a different branch of the Army that seemingly would be more dangerous than to think that I'd have to put myself in the position to do that.
Oh, yeah, 8,000%.
It's like your brother with a wall, right? I'm not doing that.
They recruited him.
I'm not doing that.
Coast Guard wanted him. Everything was going. I mean, like they wanted him, and the final thing they showed him, at least if you go through the academy, it was I think they said it's a 200-foot cargo net rope ladder thing that you had to climb up.
What happens if you fall?
Flip your leg up. Well, you die. But I think that's their point. Like, right. That's why you need to do that.
So how many people were almost in the Coast Guard?
I don't know. My brother, he was real quick. He was like, no. I mean, honestly,
and you're not wrong. Like, I mean, I had a SEAL tell me once, too. We were just talking about stuff, and he's like, yeah, you're dropping into open water and with all your gear. And
in the ocean.
And you're swimming in the ocean. He was like, yeah, I was a little scared.
You got to be a little scared, man. I mean, to me,
you're normal.
The Coast Guard, to me, was one of two things. Either it was the badass rescue thing, because, again, the guy in the helicopter, and he's dropping into the Bering Sea, or they're the party poopers. So it's like, man, did you really have to intercept that sub with all those drugs? Like, come on. Like, what difference does it make to you? You're not doing them.
It does seem when you're out on the water, you see more cops than when you're on the road.
No kidding, man.
I swear to God. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are. It just, like, especially in the Seattle area. If you are on a boat, you will see at least 2 or 3 boats on patrol. Now,
Especially lakes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I realize that they're down by where I am on the canal in Fremont, so I see them with a little bit more frequency. But whenever I'm out recreationally, it's like they're always there. So I'm always thinking to myself, I need to hide this beer. But I'm not driving, so I don't care.
Because it's more likely that you're boating drunk than driving drunk.
You know where you don't see them? Rivers.
That's a good point. Yeah, if you're doing, they're like, yeah, you're on your own.
Then you got the DNR coming. Like, you got how many fish you got? Same difference.
I was just saying, right? Like, of all the times I've spent on rivers, it's rare to see a cop like cruise up on some kind of river vehicle.
Yeah. Good, bad, or embarrassing?
Inner tube.
Who deserved a round of applause? We've got your emails coming up next from the men's room at KISW.com.
I was at home and I get this call from Ring.
We just received a fire alarm. All okay?
My fire alarm in our cottage was going off. And then it hit me. My parents are at the cottage. The fire had started in the chimney and spread to the roof. Ring Alarm Professional Monitoring dispatched the fire department before we even could dial 911. My name is Kevin, and Ring Alarm helped save our family cottage.
Protect your home today with Ring Alarm. Go to ring.com/Odyssey. That's ring.com/Odyssey.